intense. Whew. Okay, so in today's video, you're going to learn 10 cool effects you can do with the Insta360 One R and the Insta360 One X. Right now, it's possible to connect the One X to the One R app, meaning you can do most of the things you can do with the One R with the One X. Probably not everything, and you're not even supposed to do it, so it may be buggy or laggy, but you should be able to do most of the effects from this video with the One X inside the One R app. Hashtag life hacks. So grab your camera, grab your phone, and let's get into it. Every shot we're going to be editing today can all be done in the One R mobile app. There's no need for a computer. And what's even cooler is that you don't even need to download the footage. Within the app, you can connect straight to the SD card of the camera and edit straight from it. You don't need to download hundreds of gigabytes of files and use your precious phone's memory, which is seriously cool because in my One R, I'm using a 512 gigabyte micro SD card. And I'm pretty sure that's the entire memory that my phone holds. So I gotta hand it to you, Insta, that's a great idea. The first effect is one of the coolest and it's called clone trail. And what we're going to do is set up the One X or One R on a tripod or monopod, press record at 5.7K video, then move around the scene doing funny things or just move to different areas, keeping in mind that you're going to be cloned every few steps. Try your best to maintain a distance of 2 meters at all times, otherwise you're going to be too big in shot and the effect won't work. I found I got my best results when being 5+ meters from the camera. As you see here, I'm running past Sydney Opera House like a lunatic, but it's all for art and the results are totally going to be worth it. Now open up the One R app and you'll notice down the bottom right, there's a stories option. Under Shot Lab, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of really cool presets that we can use to achieve various effects. And what these do is they plug in all the right settings for your specific effect and you barely have to do anything. The app does it all for you. So for this first shot, we're going to choose Clone Trail right here. And if you ever get stuck with any of these effects, they have built-in tutorials that will show up automatically when you choose each one. But we're going to skip past that now and press Use This Theme. Now we're going to navigate to the folder of our SD card with our videos, and our clip is this one here. So what we want to do is skip to the part of the video where you want the action to start. As you can see, I'm setting up the camera now, I'm getting ready to move, and I think at about 7 seconds here is going to be the time. So what I'll do here is long press myself, and the app has picked me up and it's going to follow me across the screen. Excellent. So now we choose the clone density, low, moderate, or high. Of course we want high. Why are you even asking me that? I want as many clones as possible. So I'm going to choose high and now generate clone trail. Then you can choose forward trail or reverse trail. The difference is with forward trail, as you move, the clones will show up behind you. With reverse trail, when you move, the clones are already there in the scene, and as you walk into them, they disappear. Now it works its magic and exports a clip that looks like this. The next cool effect is stop motion, and to achieve this effect, put your camera on a selfie stick and extend it 3 to 6 feet. The further the better really. Now hold it at either 90 degrees or 45 degrees in front of you and walk for 2 to 5 minutes. Here I walked for 5 minutes in a circle around the Opera House, and I found I got my best results when I was taking tiny little steps, because it's basically cutting out all the movement in between the steps to make it look like you're skating on the ground. So if your steps are giant, then it's going to skip over the rest of the landscape too quickly. So try and keep your steps about a foot apart. Now in the Shot Lab of the app, we're going to choose stop motion, use this theme, and choose our footage. Here's mine. Again, I'll start right when I start walking, which is there. Now you simply just reposition the screen so you're in the middle and long press to select yourself. Now it's going to go ahead and track me throughout this entire clip. Now you can adjust small things in the app after processing each effect. It doesn't always get it right. Sometimes it tracks the wrong thing, or maybe it cuts off the effect too early. So you can go back and change small things. You can't change everything, and I'm sure they are going to add the ability to change more subtle things. But for now, you're just gonna have to count on it getting it right most of the time. Next is the Dolly Zoom effect. And if you've ever seen Jaws, this is the movie that made this shot famous. And it's actually a really simple idea. The camera moves forward while it zooms out at the same time, or vice versa. And this is an effect that used to be really difficult to make. Normally you'd need a camera and a dolly, and the camera operator would need to move in a perfectly straight line, and it's a shot that's so easy to mess up. Well, not when you're using a 360 camera. Now you can do it with a tiny little camera that fits in your pocket and probably get it right first time. So here's how to do it. Hold the camera close to your subject. In this example, I'm the subject and my friend Maxi is the camera operator. Press record, then move slowly in a straight line back. You only need to go about 5 to 10 meters max, and you don't even need to go fast. The shot's done backwards to make it easier to end up on your subject at the end of the shot, because what we're going to do later is reverse it. So that's it. All you've got to do is take a 10 to 15 second shot. And yes, it does help having a foreground element like a person, a statue, a building, or something that stands out from the background. Now in the app, we're going to choose the Dolly Zoom option, use this theme. And now on this screen, we're going to choose person and simply tap and hold to choose the person and hit the tick. There we go, it's tracking me and it's going to apply the effect automatically to this shot. Effect number 4 is the barrel roll, and this one's super simple. Just press record, walk in a straight line towards something interesting for at least a minute. Now this time in the app, instead of going to the shot lab, what I'm going to do is select my clip and edit in free capture as we normally would. So here we can apply all the normal effects. Firstly, I'm going to change the aspect ratio to 16:9. Then I'm just going to make sure the opera house stays in the dead center by tapping the screen and creating a keyframe. Now what I'm going to do is move forward all the way to the end of the clip, and I can see it's a minute 35. So what I'm going to do is go backwards, and half of a minute 35 is 45-ish seconds. Here we go, 47. And I'm going to create a keyframe here. And what I'm going to do is tap the plus button at the bottom to create a keyframe. Now you can see we've got the option to change the horizon. And what I'm going to do is flip it in this direction, 180 degrees. Great. Now simply go to the end of the clip, maybe a little bit off of the end. I'm going to create another keyframe there and continue the spin, another 180. Next, I'm going to go to speed and turn this into a hyperlapse, and you'll want to highlight the entire clip like I've done here. Now we press the tick and export. You can customize your export settings, by the way. Just tap custom as it's exporting, and the little settings icon will allow us to change small things. Sometimes you can change the resolution. You can always change the bit rate, and there's also frame rate. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go back, and right there in 1 minute, I've edited a really cool barrel roll. The next effect is called Flash Dash, and what it does, I can't think of any other description for it other than it turns you into Pikachu, meaning you speed really fast and you've got lightning bolts coming out of your eyes and ears and head. To do this one, again, just press record, hold the camera on a selfie stick and walk for at least 1 to 2 minutes. Now in the shot lab, we're going to choose Flash Dash, trim it down to the part of the clip you want to use, then it will give you the lightning bolt option here. We're going to hold that down to apply the effect. So there you go, it's a similar effect to the hyperlapse, you're just Pikachu this time. Now I'm going to hit the tick up the top right and export. Pika! The next effect is auto time shift, and this is an interesting one because what we're doing here is letting AI edit a time shift for us. Surely it can't be that good, right? Like if you have no creative control over it, a computer can't be more creative than you can it? So as you'd film a normal time shift, just record 360 video with your camera on a selfie stick, walking around with a changing landscape for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now we're going to choose auto time shift in the shot lab, choose our clip, and now it automatically picks out what it thinks are the interesting bits of this clip. I mean, it's not a human and it can't determine what is interesting and what's not, but it does its best. And then with everything it thinks is boring, it speeds through like a normal hyperlapse. So as you can see, it's chosen a few sections here that it thinks are interesting. Let's take a look. Here I am at Circular Quay train station at Circular Quay in Sydney. And okay, that's great. It's like a warped look at the train station, and now a building that is not really that interesting. Now I'm going backwards, that's a bit weird. Okay, that's better. Now we're getting into the cool shots. That's a much better perspective, and oh nice, it panned over to the Sydney Opera House. How did it know? It's actually pretty good. Okay, now it's stopped. for some reason, I don't know why. Going up the steps, and yeah, I think it's figured out that the Opera House is a point of interest. So yeah, I'd say it did a pretty good job. Nowhere near as good as I would have done if I manually keyframed it myself, but I'd give it a solid 5 out of 10. No doubt they're working on this and it's going to become better over time, but right now, I wouldn't use it. I mean, it is cool, you gotta give it to them. They're trying to make editing much faster, that's great. But in terms of programming a computer to have creative control over shots, we're not there yet. The next effect is Roll Planet, and this one is seriously amazing for the tiny planet photographers out there, because what it does is it tracks you as you're moving around your 360 video, and it repositions the planet so you're always at the top. That is so cool. I remember the good old days like 5 years ago when you had to manually try and keyframe yourself at the top of the tiny planet, and it would always be off. And you could never get this kind of shot looking 100% perfect. So what I did here was I tested this effect to the extreme. I placed my One R on the ground and pressed record. Then I ran around like a maniac, this time changing my direction as often as I could, trying to confuse it and mislead it. Now here in the app, I'm going to choose the Roll Planet effect, which by the way, I called the Tiny Planet Treadmill when I wrote my ebook about tiny planet photography a few years ago. And I don't think either name is really very attractive at all. Now, as you can see, it's tracking me in the app, hasn't lost me yet. And when I play it back, that's what it's done. Nice. Look at that. I'm right at the very top no matter how many times I change direction. And the transition between the directions is really smooth. So overall, I think it's done an excellent job here. The next effect is Parallel Planet, and I'm going to use the same clip that I just used. And now it's basically going to do the same thing, except this time the planet is also going to be inverted underneath it. And there we go. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. Don't think I'll use this effect, but it's cool to know that you can do it. The next effect is called Time Flip. You're basically rotating the camera around you 180 degrees and then recording that exact same clip at 1, 2, or 3 or more other locations. So I tried this effect out in 3 different locations. The first one was my office behind me, the next one was the train station, and the third one was just outside the Sydney Opera House. So I've just chosen those 3. I'm going to hit the arrow up the top right, and automatically it's going to piece the 3 together into that effect. You can continue editing them if you feel like it didn't get it quite right. For me, it felt like this wasn't quite wide enough on all 3 shots, so I'm going to adjust that quickly here by going into selfie view. Yeah, that looks better. And just like before, we're going to export it up the top right. I always select Color Plus, by the way. It's a nice little enhancement that makes the colors that extra bit better and means you probably won't have to color correct later. And this brings me to the 10th and final effect. And have I saved the best for last? I very well could have, because this effect freezes time. It doesn't matter if you shot your clip in slow motion or not. What it does is it freezes the frame in the middle of a video, and through some clever interpolation and AI, it simulates extreme slow motion. So I tested out a silhouette jump shot with all 3 resolutions and frame rates of the One R, both the 360 build and the 5.3K 1-inch build. And each of these clips I recorded was literally 3 to 5 seconds long, and that's it. Now at this point in time, you can't apply this effect when the shot was already in slow motion, aka 100 or 120 frames per second. So firstly, what I'm going to do is open up my 5.3K shot here in the app where I do my miraculous jump. There we go. Whoosh. That seemed kind of anticlimactic, didn't it? Well, just wait. Firstly, I'm going to trim the top and tail off it, so the video starts with me about to jump and ends with me landing. So we've cut this shot down to 1 second already, but we're going to lengthen it by adding this effect. So I want the freeze frame to apply right when I'm at the top and my legs are in the air. I'd say about there is good. So now I'll tap speed, and all you need to do is tap freeze frame. Now we can choose 1, 3, 5, or 10 seconds. And of course, for dramatic effect, I'm gonna choose 10 seconds. Now hit the arrow up the top right and it's applied the effects. And we're going to export it from here, choosing 4K UHD video. And here's the end result. Whoa, cool. I'm flying. That's really cool. Can't believe that. That's from a 30 frames per second video. I honestly found this to be as good as using super slow motion mode with this camera. Sometimes better because you can get even slower than the slow motion mode offers, and sometimes it's not as good because it looks a little bit interpolated, which basically means it's trying to predict the pixels in between the frames. So this will happen in some situations, but not all. I found it does a good enough job for me to want to use this effect more and more. I'm looking at my foot that's touching the harbor bridge. Yes, you can see a bit of that interpolation there, but it's really minimal, especially from a zoomed out perspective. So this shot is totally passable, and I'm just gonna say it, I'm impressed. So that's definitely a nice addition if you're shooting action shots or you want some kind of cinematic shot to mix in with the rest of the 360 or regular footage you might be using. And that's it, those are the 10 shots. Which one did you think was coolest? I'd say mine was probably the clone trail or the freeze frame. Those ones are seriously epic. Oh, and by the way, if you want to learn more cool 360 and Tiny Planet effects, I wrote an ebook called A Beginner's Guide to Tiny Planet Photography. It used to be for sale, now I'm offering it completely free. I don't know how long that will last, but for now you can download it through the link in the description. And that's it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the dislike button if you're a loser and you like bringing people down. Happy 360ing, and I'll see you in the next one.